Peter Galbraith, we thank you for joining us this morning. Let me get right to this deadliest month, potentially, in the history of the 8-year Afghan war. If you were advising the president this morning, would you tell him to ramp up now or that it's a losing battle?
Neither. But in the absence of having a credible Afghan partner, that is to say, a government that enjoys the support of the people and is accepted by those that did not vote for the man who emerges as president, it makes no sense to ramp up. On the other hand, we cannot afford to pull out.
Let me play devil's advocate for a moment. The president would say he doesn't have the luxury of a perfect world. He has to make a decision in this world and this climate. So again, the choice between more troops, which General McChrystal would argue would at least secure more of the high-density populations, or no surge at this point at all, what would you say to him?
At this point, no surge. We don't, of course, we don't operate in a perfect world, but we also don't have unlimited resources. And unless those troops can secure an area in a way that then Afghan partners, the government, the Afghan army, the Afghan police can come in and fill in after them, we're going to be there as an occupying force for a very long time. And that, to me, doesn't make sense. The only way this works is if we can make a transition to the Afghans, and that requires an effective, credible government, which in turn requires an election in which the Afghan people have confidence. One
of the critical and determining factors in Iraq was that the chieftains, the tribal chieftains, decided that it was in their better interest to oppose the insurgents than to work with them. Are there signs in Afghanistan that the tribal leaders there are ready and ripe for the possibility of holding out on their own?
Unfortunately, there's no analogy between what happened in Iraq and what's going on in Afghanistan. In Iraq, in the Sunni areas of the country, the al-Qaeda element, the fundamentalists, moved from attacking the Shiites to attacking the tribal sheikhs themselves. So this was a matter of their self-defense. In Afghanistan, the tribal elders, many of them are supporting the Taliban. They are the Taliban, or, and this is the more common situation, they are neutral. They see no reason to choose a government which they experience as inefficient, corrupt, and abusing power.
You were fired for speaking up. Any second thoughts?
Yes. Absolutely not. The fraud that took place in Afghanistan was preventable, and it could have been dealt with more effectively after the fact. Unfortunately, the United Nations, which had responsibility to support free, fair, and transparent elections in Afghanistan, not fraudulent ones, did not exercise its responsibility. When the so-called Independent Election Commission tried to change its rules to include fraudulent ballots in the count, I tried to stop that. He blocked me. He sided with Karzai, who, of course, was the beneficiary of the fraud.
So no second thoughts?
I have no second thoughts, not at all.
Peter Galbraith.